was very different in that respect because it
really was a true full production studio.
And I can't think of one other instrument made
that you could do everything from beginning to
end to a mastered CD burn
red book qualified edition that you could deliver for distribution.
You have piano rolls, you have everything else that you could possibly want in this thing.
And one of the most attractive things about this, and I did a video about this, was
about the quantizing in this machine.
A lot of people felt that the MPC 60s and stuff,
they had a certain feel to them, which they did. They absolutely.
And they thought that they couldn't get the same feel out of here, but you can. And because one of the things that this had was
percentage quantizing, and you have
this thing has like what 128 tracks MIDI.
You can have up to 128 MIDI tracks, and the resolution of the sequencer in here was 480 TPQN. Now on the older MPCs, those were only at 96.
Another thing too that, when we're talking about the quantize and everything, that really separated this from anything else out.
You could have it in record mode or just plain, and you could adjust the percentage of the quantize and everything.
All in real time without stopping or having to apply a quantize to a pattern. The actual software sequencer was developed by another company.
All the vintage. When you go into the drum kits and you go into the vintage
section in there, those are all like original OG classic drum machine stuff.
The Cosm effects that are built in on the MV, it's got the RE201 tape effect built in. The Cosm effects that are built in on the MV, there's actually a lot of boss effects that are built into the Cosm effects, which is stuff that you found on the VS recorders.
What's cracking? I am Nick Danger, and you're now tuned into the art of MV. Welcome to my channel, and thanks for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get into some MV talk, man. Happy holidays for those guys who are chilling with their families, celebrating such things, and hope everybody is well. This is part 2 of the Chop House, and what I've done is over this past few days I've been working with my MV in tandem. Both the Verselab over there and the MV-1. So I started out with the Chop House samples, and I'm going to go up here and let me exit out of this screen, and I have the program. It's set up for me to simply sample. So as on my little no talk video, these are all phrases and also partials. Now, you sample for a lot of reasons, and we're not going to get into the depth of it in this particular video because this is a specific MV to MV video. But this is a super sampler, and this has been covered, the MV-1000 that is, has been covered as a sampler, ad nauseum. Okay, so we know it's a super sampler. We know it captures phrases well, via, a la SP. It's a multi-sampler, so you can sound design in here, and this is where Roland kind of screwed the pooch with the MV-1, is the expectations that this MV probably put on anything that followed it, right? So here is a group of samples that I have. Now samples like these, one shots, like those, and sort of like, those are sounds that I just kind of sample in order to maybe create a patch that I would lay over the keyboards as a combo or as like a pad or something, right? As opposed to a sample chop like this. So you get the point. I have a group of sounds. And I've changed a couple of things with these sounds to kind of make them match for that little ditty that played in the beginning to play. So if I pull up the quick edit, you can see on this particular song, I did a long sustain. If you see, if I hit it, it's going to keep going. I've panned it left, and I've taken the level of the input down as well. On this one, I've done a little bit more. I've took the level down even more because it was quite harsh coming in. Then I panned it to the right, as well as I changed it from a regular sine wave to a square wave. So I altered the actual wave file, and it affected how it plays. In addition to that, I pitched it down, what they call these semitones. If you see where it is, this is where it was. Wasn't going to match it. So I had to take it down in order to get what you hear here. So to make them play off each other like that, I had to audition them, bring in a few drums from the Integra just to see could I tap out something with those two sounds and how could I let it play off each other, right? And now I know that I could take those two and possibly split them 50-50 across the keyboard and make me like a combo patch. Now, those were really, really subtle developments. Those are really, really subtle adjustments. But you can go a lot more extreme and you can go a lot more in depth to making and synthesizing samples. Now, that is the other part, is that you can synthesize the sample. And I think that brings a whole nother dimension to what this can do as a sampler, and it kind of set any expectation for any MV to come after this way up here. Let's talk sound transfer, and let's talk export. You can basically store any wave file or anything that you brought in sound-wise by resampling, or by way of options, we'll say, let's go up here. You can export all that warmth and that character of that wave file, whether it be a phrase like this one. Okay, this is a phrase. Well, let's go to the phrases. Okay, so quick edit, go down here, and it easily I can export that phrase from this phrase edit as a wave file with the tempo and everything already locked in and everything that we did to it in the MV. I can also export one that has been used as a patch and been saved as a partial, like the ones I was just using. Go to the quick edit menu, go to sample edit, go to this one, and bam, I can save this as a wave file and export that wave file from the MV-8000 to my computer or my hard drive or wherever I store my samples, and then export it from that folder into the MV-1 Verselab. Now that the tedious part is actually done, I actually have a part of my MV sound in my MV-1 from 8000 to MV-1. lined up and ready to work together. Importing the samples in is a lot more practical for this particular unit. I'm kind of on board with how they got it. Importing these was basically painless. And then you just simply make your edits either to the pad you want. When you're making edits on the sample, like so, like the beginning, you want to hit shift when you're on your value dial, because you move in bigger steps. You'll take all day shaving something off looking at the numbers if you do not hit shift. So once again, when you get it on the pads is where the magic happens. Now, once I introduce these as clips or into the looper track, then even that's going to change, because with the looper tracks, I'll have the time stretch available to me. And once I put them on, well, they're in a kit track currently, and I can affect each clip in that kit track with the M effects. Between the MV-1 and the Zen Beats, I don't think you can go wrong as far as packing your entire studio up in this box and working on the work from your studio that may have started on your 8000, but it ends, or you finish it, or you just work through it on the MV-1 Verselab. And I think that is the point.
Different languages, so he brought us all the best, the kings, queens, princes, and princesses.
Your time is up.
Right on, Beulah. Now, Mrs. Kowalczyk.
These were all imported. All brought in via import. So as for me, I really think I'm going to lean towards just importing my samples, allowing me to do more surgical sampling with the SP555 and the MV-8000, the Phantom, and other samplers that I have on deck already. This is not meant for that, and that's just the hard truth. This thing is designed to import samples and then use them inside the unit itself. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on that part. Are you a little bit disappointed, which I'm pretty sure most people are, that this is not really optimized by inputting samples? It's more optimized by importing samples. Thanks for watching the video, man. Let me know in the comments section. Peace.